Hey Ratbags, it's a starter guide today for Path of Titans. There's a big tutorial for this game, but I still feel there's a few extra things needed explaining or just give you some tips about getting started. So the most basic of starter guides for Path of Titans. Let me know how you're enjoying the game now it's out on Xbox and PlayStation, and let's go. Single player or multiplayer? Well, at the moment there's been some issues joining with servers, so obviously you can jump on single player and pick up the ropes. However, if the servers are working, I strongly advise that you start off on a proper multiplayer server. Progress doesn't carry over from your single player to a multiplayer server with your dinosaurs, and so it's kind of a waste just running around an empty map on your own. Sure, you can learn the basics of stuff, but there is a tutorial if you join the multiplayer servers as well. You can't really boost too much either on single player. You can turn off things like full damage and turn on the minimap or turn it off and have the full map showing, but that's about it really. There's a few other little bonuses, but I don't think it's necessary to really go through the single player. Jump straight on multi. You might find community servers that have things slightly boosted and stuff, but I do believe you can't take that same dinosaur from them boosted servers onto the official ones, so be careful with that as well. With the game being so new, the official servers should be absolutely buzzing, but in time they'll probably die off as more people will play on the community ones where you can boost and do a lot more. If you find yourself getting trolled by a bunch of players, then maybe that's the exception, or just go to another server. When it comes to the dinosaurs themselves, you can see there's 6 different stats: damage, recovery, water speed, defense, and then you've got land speed, and finally survivability. So obviously these do matter, but at the moment I don't think they're as fleshed out as they could be. Clearly, if you want to be a water-based creature, then you're going to make sure that the water speed is pretty high. If you want to be a tanky creature, then obviously you're going to go for something that's got higher defense. From what I've felt in the early stages, there are a lot of herbivores that do a fair amount of damage and are fairly chunky with their defense, so you're looking for stuff that maybe helps with recovery and maybe being able to move around. For predators, carnivores, then absolutely speed is a good one. I feel you can do a lot of damage with some of the stronger carnivores, but I still think that speed is crucial. It can really speed up the process obviously of catching the critters and other dinosaurs. What you'll notice though is that some of the smaller carnivorous creatures, they take 2 or 3 hits to kill some of the critters, whereas some of the biggest ones like the brand new T-Rex only take 1. Ultimately, you should probably go for the dinosaur that you feel most attached to, just by the looks of it. If you're a min-maxer, then the strongest dinosaur is the Spinosaurus, although that looks to be very much a case of the T-Rex maybe taking its place now. If you're looking for the fastest dinosaur, it's going to be the Struthiomimus. A few things to remember as well, that carnivores obviously have to eat meat from other creatures and of course critters, but herbivores, you've got much more selection of stuff you can eat. Berries, certain bushes, mushrooms and more roots. So it's easier to keep a herbivore alive than it is a carnivore. Now there is a tutorial, so follow that as quickly as you can and it will take you through all the steps and basically teach you how to survive and pick up items in the game. You'll be perfectly safe in these start caves, and at the moment, because everyone's fairly brand new, I don't feel like you're going to be trolled that much even when you step outside of them, but there are a few pointers you need to know. Not all of the dinosaurs can swim, and some of the creatures, especially the water-based ones, can actually catch some of the fish that lie in the deeper waters. So never go too far out in the water just in case you can't actually make it back. And just as it says, when you die, you will lose some of your marks, possibly some of your abilities too. Completing the quests is the fastest way to earn marks in the game, but as you can see, you don't get many. You can only apply new abilities that you get for your dinosaurs when you're at your home cave, so make sure you go to your character screen and you choose the RB button to click on abilities. In around 2 hours of playing, I did manage to unlock 3 abilities for my dinosaur. And they don't necessarily go in order. You can see we've got the head, then the front limb, then the metabolism, then hide, then tail. With some of the dinosaurs you may unlock things like the tail first or the hide first. This is what you should be spending your marks on. Don't buy any skins until you've maybe leveled up your creature completely. I'll bet that will take a while, and I know some people want to see a nice looking dinosaur as they play hours and hours and hours, but I still personally think that kind of stuff is worth waiting for until you've got your dinosaur a bit more bigger and grown up and using all the different abilities they can. The tutorial does do a fairly decent job, so I'm not going to explain all the stuff in it. What I will say is when you get outside, don't just go off exploring in a random direction, try and aim for the quest that it's given to you straight away. One of them quests will be to head over to a waystone. These are basically teleporters, so that if friends join your server, you can get them to go ahead and teleport close to you, or if you are role playing properly and you're a herbivore, you can actually call and invite other players to come and help you. The quest can be a little bit buggy. Even though I went to this waystone a bunch of times, it never actually showed as completed until you go ahead and send an invite. Now there is a cooldown for it, you can see in the top left, and so it might ask you to do things like deliver 6 mushrooms. It won't actually tell you the number, but that's maybe how many you need to do. Be warned though, don't accept random invites from players you don't know, or at least check to see if they are either carnivore or herbivore, because they may be ambushing you. It's a common tactic that they will invite you, teleport you to the waystone, and then pretty much munch on you. This should be one of the first missions that you try and complete early on though, to get some decent marks, and then focus on the other stuff. After that, to level up quicker, I would actually focus on the local quests, the ones that turn up in red. If you basically run off to another area, it will tell you that there's a countdown now on the red quests, and effectively you've only got about 5 minutes to get back to that area and complete the quest. So it's ideally trying to make you stay in the same area. But some of these quests are really super simple, like removing some branches. You can just follow the rivers along and pick up and remove all the branches, and that will be one of the local quests done. Pretty much each branch that you cleared gives you 1 mark, and then you get an additional 36 for clearing all of them. The ones where you have to deliver flowers to the honey tree are some of the easiest, as there's different varieties of flowers. You can get ones like the white ones or the honeysuckle ones, so they're pretty easy to spot. Also, when you complete some quests, you do get some rewards, like this honeysuckle plant or red ginger plant, and that is a direct reward for completing some of the quests. Otherwise, you have to spend lots of marks to unlock all of these decorative items in your home cave. Just like the skins, personally, I would rather get my dinosaur leveled up before I start customizing and making my home cave look pretty. And maybe if you've got a big surplus of marks but you haven't actually grown up fully, then it's worth maybe spending some on some of this stuff. No matter what cave you go to on the map, they will always be there though, and there should be a home cave pretty much in every region. But remember, progress is only tied to your one dinosaur. One of the more frustrating quests is that you have to kill a certain type of critter. There's like 4 or 5 different variants. Sometimes they're rats, sometimes they're colourful lizards. But one of the first quests you're likely to get is to kill 3 of a particular critter. So I had to kill 3 Paleosaniwa, and it took nearly 2 hours of roaming around the map to find enough. The critters do respawn, so you have to basically wait a while for them to do that. But the best bet is to find maybe just another region and keep exploring the map and open it up so that you find new stuff and maybe find an environment that you want to live in a bit more. But personally, I think this type of quest is just worth leaving and doing it naturally. If you need to eat, go and get a critter, and hopefully it'll be the one you need to complete the quest. More quests will open up. Some will directly ask you to go and kill a certain type of dinosaur, and that will involve you getting a bit bigger. When you first step out of the home cave after the tutorial, there is advice that says leave your food and your water to go super low. That's because another quest will pop up telling you you need to go and eat and drink. So it's worth paying attention to where a food place is or where there is some water, and timing it just right. Of course, what you don't want to do is die, because you will lose progress, as I mentioned earlier. So when you get a new ability, make sure you head over to a home cave as quickly as possible, or you've got enough marks to unlock one at least. And then make sure it's activated. You still need to equip the ability onto the row. You do have to, I do believe, hold the LB button or LT button or L1, L2 from PlayStation to activate some of them if you put them in the same row down below. But if you've ever played Art Survival Evolved, you'll know what you're doing. It's pretty much just how you switch weapons and stuff, and that's how you're going to be using your new abilities. Some are clearly better than others. There are creatures in the game that's definitely worth ambushing others, and then there's some that you can just be big brute strength, but you're not going to be maybe as fast. I will have more detailed guides possibly going over all of the dinosaurs, their skills and their weaknesses and strengths. And that's all there really is to the game at the moment. Interacting with other dinosaurs and creatures, obviously. You should effectively run away from all of the bigger creatures than you. It's very rare that you're going to be able to beat anything that's larger in size or more mature. unless you're super quick and nimble and you've got other dinosaurs around you. The map is absolutely huge and it doesn't reveal itself until you've gone through it, so it's got a fog of war. You will find some more unusual features like almost an underground cavern system in certain parts of the map, and basically you just got to go and explore. But there'll always be at least one feeding spot and some water in every single one of the regions. If one of the local quests seems a bit too long or hard, then simply go to another region and complete that one instead. And there you go, that's just some very basic starter guide stuff to Path of Titans. Hopefully the game gets fleshed out a little bit more, we start seeing more NPC creatures added to the game to liven up the experience. Even on multiplayer it can still be pretty dead, and of course single player is definitely in need of it. And yeah, check out the individual guides that I'm going to be doing on all the stats and all of the dinosaurs, their strengths and their weaknesses. Until then, I'll catch you ratbags later.